Hey, welcome back. It's been a while. Originally I was going to try to do a series of French videos. Main reason, just life and other stuff on the way. I actually finally traveled in real life, like actually on an actual plane from Chicago to San Diego not too long ago, so it's nice to finally do a trip. And honestly, I've been really kind of struggling what to do with this, because after this part, we kind of went north, but it was more like not really. Like, I think we did stop here, maybe. But honestly, I've been trying to. I really couldn't. Since like years ago, I did not find much, like images and stuff I saved, or what I still have left from then. And at the same time, it's more like just trying to get up north to basically have northern friends like Saint Michel and all that. So what I was thinking of doing is just doing like a flight. This is going to be probably slightly edited video. I'm going to do a flight that kind of goes over this part. I was trying to see if there's anything like there's really no air, like the only airport up there is like, maybe we can switch to this. The other issue I had is trying to find a good airport. I mean, it's not a big plane. I could, so I'm not too concerned. It's not a big airport, but this is not a big plane, so hopefully it'll be okay. See how this goes. Yeah, because we kind of went up like this region. I mean, let's see. Hold on. What is this? Ooh, that looks too small. So we'll go through here. I know this airport's a decent size. Actually, no, we'll stick with this one. Anyway, it's actually beautiful. It's kind of a little mountainous and stuff. But we mostly did like a winery. I think a one stop. I mean, really, we were just kind of mostly traveling to get up to here, which took a couple of days. Now, this area, we did spend some time. Mont Saint Michel. This is Normandy. I have a lot to talk about here. Here, I don't. So, as I said, this is going to be slightly edited. I'm going to do a takeoff, explain the little things, and then probably do a time lapse. Hopefully, it goes smoothly. I mean, if it does, it'll be published. Let's say that. So, you're watching the video, it went smoothly. And then do the ending. So that way, it's not an hour plus video of just not much going on. So let's see how this goes. Also, I changed the music to Legacy. I actually didn't realize that other music options in the music. I was messing around one day. Yeah, so this is a Legacy music. It's pretty nice. It sounds a little cliche, but the music kind of reminds me of like going to like an amusement park or some ride. Let's say like a Marvel Avengers ride, which I've done. A little more epic and not like elevator-ish, let's say. Like, I don't mind the regular music, but it kind of is like an elevator tone, in my opinion. So, but anyway, I'm sorry I haven't really done much. I mean, I've just mostly do these for fun, so it's kind of just when I'm in the mood and have time, which I do today. But also, as I said, I kind of dropped it because I didn't know what to do through here. Like, it was just like, because it's not. I mean, you can fly over a winery, but it's just going to be A, if I can. I don't know which one we went to, or remember, I should say, and B, it's not really going to stand out unless it has a big famous chateau. Everything around is just going to be fields, which it's going to look like the same around, unless they really render it on the ground, which I'm pretty sure they didn't. But that said, that was a good chance to use this plane, which I think I did in a previous video, I believe. The HOP Air France, kind of like it's like American Eagle, United Express. But the fact they have it on the Embraer jet, I thought it'd be perfect for this. So it's just gets like not even like an hour flight. Actually, I'm gonna do. Okay. Oh no, one second. My controller is not responding for a second. There we go. Still not responding. I should have checked the controller. We're leaving this in. Why not? My Bluetooth with the controller does not like to cooperate this computer. Thankfully, I can just plug it in USB style and then it'll be okay. Sorry about that. Just give me another minute here. While I'm doing that, while that figures out, I'm going to change a couple sound options. Yeah. As much as nice. I let the computer do this now. It is fun to do the selection, but it's a lot. Now, I did figure out on the autopilot, you kind of tell how high and low it can go. So, alright. Well, anyway, so this is the Toulouse airport. It's actually a decent-sized airport. It gets some good traffic. Obviously, the busiest in France is going to be in Paris, especially for the long-haul flights. But when you see airports like here in Nice... Anyway, it used to be like airports here in Nice. That's enough. That was rude. Anyway, I see as airports, as I said again for like third time, airports like Toulouse and Nice, they'll have definitely Eurocentric flights, like maybe British Airways from Heathrow or Gatwick or something along like that, or obviously Air France being, obviously the national airline of, France. They'll have like inner, country flights, let's say from Nice to Toulouse or something from Lyon. But, it's a little different over there compared to, let's say, the U.S., where, yeah, sorry, I forgot. This is a loud plane, so I'm going to have to turn this down a little bit. Funny thing, the sound is actually kind of low. Yeah, I normally don't do this when I'm playing, but this one is a very loud plane. Alright. Let's try this again. Perfect. Alright, that's better. That way, I can at least talk over it, but still get the sound effects. Anyways, it's not like the U.S. where, like Chicago, St. Louis, it's about 5-ish hours. Drive 6. They do a flight's about 45 minutes to an hour, roughly. Depending on the speed and blah 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 blah. So you look at this is about a 50-minute flight. Probably, similar time frame, let's say, in terms of travel. But there, you have a great train system all around Europe, and it will vary a bit by country. Like in Italy, I would say had more delays and issues, while Germany was very rigorous on time, departed on time. They're not seeing delays, kind of similar like how Japan and their train system. But, that's their way to get around. They utilize trains, especially for something that's like, maybe a day trip, if that. Let's say, a journey to get around someplace like by car. In the U.S., you don't really have that outside of maybe a couple of corridors like the Northeast, maybe parts of California and so forth. So that's why you see a lot more planes, especially regional flights where like, oh, well, I need to get to Chicago to Pittsburgh. Drive-wise, it's an 8-9 hour drive. It's not short, but it's only like a 90-minute to 2-hour flight. And even with St. Louis, you're like, well, that's not a far drive. It's like, well, I got business and stuff, so it's like to and from there. In Europe, it's more of a different attitude. It's more about, train than planes. Now, there's a very obviously strong aviation industry, but you have you have a lot more options than, compared to like the U.S. to get around. All right, we're gonna switch this to autopilot now. Now here's what I'm gonna do. So I found this out, this IFA clearance stuff, which it won't go to because it's got to explain where I'm at again. Yeah, there we go. It'll take a couple minutes, but it's interesting. So I figured out how you can actually control the altitude with the autopilot, especially because the big issue I've had a long time is it likes to fly in the mountains for no reason. Like, you can tell the mountain's 8,000 feet, and yet it wants to set at 7,500,000 feet. And you watch it, it's barely clearing it, or it's about to fly into it, and it doesn't, care. Yeah, see, right now they're going to put us at 14,000 feet, which I'm going to leave it at that. That's going to be good enough for this. Because I do think there will be some mountains and hills on the way north, but not too bad. Actually, no, yeah. Yeah, I guess most of the mountains and hills here, and then it is pretty flat. relatively flat. Like a good example of the Tour de France. When recording this, the stage 1 of the Tour de France, so it's June 26th. They started here, and there's actually quite a bit of hills, but not mountains. Like when you ever see the mountain parts of France, like the Tour de France, it'd be like in these regions over here. He's going to the Alps, so it's why it's such a great race. It's it's one of the few countries I can think of where not the climate per se, but the like the elevations change a lot, and so does the geography a bit. You know, you got a lot of different, you know, right here it's like typical farmland, especially in the central France. It kind of reminds you, let's say, like the American Midwest. But then you go into like Nice, it's like, as I mentioned before, it's like a Mediterranean climate. And you go up to Saint Michel, which we'll do later. It's off the channel, so it's a lot more like the British climate, you know, a lot cooler. You know, it's more rainy, but kind of temperate. It doesn't get too cold or too hot. While at least Nice will get pretty warm in the summer because it's a warm climate. So, you know, let's see if this is at 12,000 feet. My only other issue is if the autopilot overspeeds in Oblivion. Let's see if it approves it. Perfect. See, I've actually had it say not approved before. It's kind of cool. So, yeah, it won't be a too bad flight. But yeah, it's kind of, I said this is going to be kind of the boring part. There are these, you know, maybe I do like a follow-up video just flying over those chateaus over there. It's just, pretty sure I haven't been in any of them before, so I don't really have much to say. So this plane was pretty expensive. It was like $50, but I have to say this has been a real probably. I bought one other DLC plane. It was a 737 Max, and it was like the Airbus 320 with just a 73 Max like paint on it. Like it was not that good. I've only used it a couple times. This plane actually feels very unique to what it is, and I think some of the reviews, the people say it's not the plane, it's just the cost isn't that good. Now, someone did put like another Bombardier embryo jet, but a different group. And apparently they're really notorious for just really putting out like a cheap version of the plane and charge $25 for it. Like, basically they get the model right, but then like the interior and the way it acts is not like some actual how the plane reacts. Like this plane reacts a lot different from the Airbus 320. I can tell how it ascends, descends, lands, and takes off, and just the way it runs. But like the 737 Max, which I expect to be similar to the 320, I didn't feel any difference whatsoever, even though it should be, because it does have like a different engine and some speeds and stuff. Yet that wasn't the case. But anyway, that was kind of just talking about the plane. But yeah, I know. Like plus, I like the little liveries it's got for this. It's perfect for this video, especially we're in France. I also, before I probably cut off the mic for a little bit, I do know. I think there's going to be a German update down the road. I do have some stuff on that because I have been to Munich and down in Fusen. I've flown over. I don't know if I ever uploaded it. Maybe I have. It's been a while. I did a video in Munich. And this is where it gets really difficult because I don't want to be mean. Because it's the world, so it's a lot of AI generated. I get it. But sometimes it definitely needs a touch. And thankfully, again, these rolled updates. And it seems like now the big focus has been Europe. So they did, after Japan and the U.S., I feel like they could be like several U.S. updates, honestly. Then they did the U.K. I have not done much there. I need to. I finally upgraded this game to the Ultimate Premium Deluxe Edition, whatever the hell it's called, and got Heathrow Airport. That's probably one reason why. I love Heathrow. That was like my base airport when I studied in London. And I do have a bit of that. I just need to figure out what's the best plot. Because obviously I can do a whole London tour. But then after that, it's like, okay, so I went to Stonehenge. And I'm pretty sure that's in the game. If not, that'd be surprising that it's not. And then, by the way, on the screen, that says Swiss Airlines. So yeah, so we got live traffic coming in right now. Anyway, but then I went to Lake District. Which, again, I think I may have recorded that once. But, it's nature, so it's a little easier to do. But outside the nature, there's only so much, like, not to see per se, there's so much to talk about, because it's more about being in the outdoors and seeing the nature. And I can talk a little about that, but it isn't, let's say, Edinburgh, which, again, I didn't see much there when I flew over, which is probably disappointing, but I need to recheck it out if they've done updates. They had a lot more to say about visiting the Parliament, the castle, the Scottish jewels, their crown. There's a lot there, and then there's also, like, St. Andrews and stuff nearby. Like, I have a lot to talk about there, but I just didn't see much there. Again, this was a long time ago when I checked. So that's been outside of London. It's just I kind of, again, struggle with that. And there's no Ireland update. I've been to Ireland as well, which I thought would be really cool if they did an Ireland update, especially with, like, Dublin and stuff. They did Northern Ireland, I think, with the UK, but not, like, Dublin, though, from the looks of it. And right now, they just did the Norway update. Or, sorry, let me rephrase that. The Nordic country update. It was like Norway, Finland, Sweden. Never been to any of those countries. So I don't, again, I'm not sure what to exactly do with that. If I do up a video, but I think I might try to fly over and just see how it is. But if they do a German update, like some rumors are saying, then that one I probably definitely have at least a lot to talk about in Munich. And even Berlin, even if I haven't been to Berlin, I just find the history of that city fascinating. Obviously, you got the World War II, but for me, it's more about the Cold War. So I found the Cold War era really fascinating, especially just in my head, in 2021, that city was divided. And I don't mean like divided like, oh, there's some political disagreements. No, it was walled off. You have a separate country in the walled off part surrounded by communist East Germany. And yet it's like, you have, and like the only way getting out is basically fly in. I mean, I'm sure there's passes that allow you to travel in between the two as an outsider, but it's like, assuming, I could be completely wrong there, by the way, but it's like just insane to think about. And instead, this video is kind of more just rambling about some updates in history. So not much else to say, but anyway, those are the updates. I kind of hope they do another Japan update because they never really did touch Kyoto, which is really disappointing. Like, they could just do a whole update in Kyoto, and I would fly over for like an hour. So, but anyway, let's I'm gonna turn this off. This looks good. We got a little bit of time. So I'm gonna mute myself and just kind of enjoy the flight for a bit. Alright, I'm taking over again. Oh no. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's get that. Yeah. Let's get it. There we go. Alright. Well, looks like the clouds have... It showed it was cloudy over here. However, this is going to get interesting. Look at the speeds and heights. Anyways, I was saying, I knew it showed a lot of clouds in this area, but man, when I was flying up here, it's like, oh, maybe it's just some high clouds. Not too bad, but now this is really thick. Of course, the autopilot decided to go off track the last bit, which happens a lot, it feels like. You know, I kid you not, an example. I don't think it's shown the airport just yet. Okay. A good example. When I was like doing an auto flight, well, sorry, I did the takeoff and stuff, but I was doing a flight from Seattle to, I think, Portland or San Francisco. So, for some reason, around Oregon, it starts going, so it's a straight south flight. It goes over mountains, it's fine. All of a sudden, it wants to go straight west to the Pacific. And it just kept doing that for no reason. No reason. It was bizarre. So, anyway. Really frustrating. Alright, we're descending to 7,000 feet. I'm looking at, I think we're fine with the speeds. I want to keep it around 40%. The one thing I do struggle with this plane compared to the Airbus is really understanding the speeds and the height, as it climbs and falls really fast, in my view. Now the real question is it going to show where I need to land yet? No. Oh, there it is. 23. Oh, fuck. I can't read that. Let's see. Request vector to the next waypoint. Alright. We're going to stick to external. Just because I have no base of reference. Wait a minute. There you go. I can see the ground. It's not raining. It's just cloudy. It looks like. Anyway, that wasn't a bad flight. Not too long. Just a nice little quick flight. All right, there we go. We're starting to get through the clouds, back to the ground. That helps a lot. Definitely thick cloud coverage, but again, it doesn't seem to show rain on the windows. Don't see any lightning, so it just might just be cloudy here. We aren't far from the Atlantic, obviously, so I do wonder that plays a factor as well. Just kind of like when you go to like San Diego or other parts near an ocean, you can definitely see the climate being an impact. Or sorry, the ocean really impacting the weather and climate more often than not. A good example. The U.S. Open was just in San Diego this last week when I'm recording this. That's also why I was out there, honestly. But the course is right off the oceans on these cliffs called Torrey Pines. The course is called Torrey Pines, but it's in Torrey Pines Park. And around that, they always have this thing called a marine layer. So a lot of kind of like fog and cloud coverage. Never really truly cleared out. You go a few miles inland, it cleared up, but right off the ocean in some parts, it's like that. Cool, cloudy. So, definitely. I was going to try and say. Hey, let me get some flaps up. Anyway, so you definitely see an impact how the ocean is, and you see that in other parts of California. You go to like LA and Orange County. They'll be quite often in the morning. They'll be like cloudy and like kind of even foggy because of the ocean. Then it kind of as the day goes on, it pulls back and it rolls back in. Obviously, I do not know how it is in this part of France, honestly. But I can see that being a factor, where there is going to be clouds and climate and stuff, where it impacts kind of like the weather. And you do see that like in the British Open and stuff, you know, because they usually play it off like an ocean course or off like a sea. You know, like St. Andrews is actually off a sea, not an ocean. But a large body of water where there's a lot of impact from the wind, clouds, light rain and stuff. So, and same with the Mediterranean, how their climate varies a bit with their body of water. But you kind of see one major difference you probably have seen from the previous videos to this region. It's greener. It's a little less arid. You know, you're down in southern France, more of an arid climate. This is not the case up here. We now got more of the Atlantic Ocean and the English Channel playing a factor, and especially in regards to like, you know, more of a temperate climate. You know, similar, let's say, the Pacific Northwest. Outside of this week with its big heat wave out there. So, but anyway, just kind of give you a sense. You know what? They never told me what. Did they say what runway I'm landing on? Well, if not, we're gonna wing it. Oh, heck. We're going to come in from the north. I see it right there. Alright, so we're going to circle around. I don't know why it's not giving me a... Tell me what runway to land, but since I'm about to fly over, we're going to circle. I'm going to fly up, come back down. We're going to fly basically towards the ocean and land that way. That's my line of thinking. Sometimes I'm really, well, I'm going to say strict. I like to pull off the, quote, realistic aspect, and other times I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, good example, you'd be like in the airport, and obviously these airports get busy, like in real life, that's why it kind of does that. And it's like, you're at the land, so as you're clear for landings, you're right, really like, it'd be like steps from landing, and it goes, please go around. I'm like almost above the landing strip. I'm going to crash if I do that. So no. And it was like, you didn't get permission to land. I was like, well, you shouldn't have told me it was clear like 2 minutes ago. And obviously this is all because it's conflicting between the player and AI to better speed out just to be safe. The player AI to basically real live traffic, which I want to be a little fair there, but it's frustrating and funny at the same time because you're just like, you just want to tell them to shut up. It's like, you're not helping. You're part of the problem. So if you want to be a part of the solution, you know, be realistic and allow me to land the plane. Otherwise, we're gonna crash. So yeah, this will work. I don't want to turn too sharply, so I've seen some people do that, which you can pull it off, but if I was on that plane, I would be scared shitless right there. Alright. But yeah, this is, again, I just want to make this more of a quick video, a little, just talking a little bit, and kind of part of the trip. It's mostly going through the mountains, seeing a winery, and I know we did see at least a church, but nothing else besides that. And this is where I also struggle, just in general. Lowering the speeds, but not like where you're lowering and gliding into the ground before the runway. And that's why I've been doing, I say the second, third person, external view. Just easier for me to sit where I am from the ground. Yeah, I never saw a runway pop up, or I missed it. Granted, I don't have the voices on, so sometimes I don't see it, but I can hear it. Because it moves pretty fast, as you see. It's not a big box. But that's okay. I'm not going to make a big deal. The goal is to land safely in this really, really thick cloud cover. Alright, I think yeah, this should be fine. As you see, I'm looking at... Oh, yeah, the little box finally popped up. Thank you. I do have a landing assist on just to help out at times, but yeah, it clearly did not do anything to help me there. Also, it kind of shows you, it gives you a better sense. Actually worked out quite well. You know, maybe a little hard, but nothing abnormal there. Like, that's how it kind of looks and feels. Alright. Anyway, welcome to Nantes Airport. Not much to it. Let's get a gate. Where's my, should be, I don't see any guidance here. Gate 4. No, there it is. A little slow. Alright. Well, that makes it, one thing nice about these small airports, there's not like a lot of gates, so it's pretty quick to get in and out of these airports. Unlike Chicago here, or Paris, where all of a sudden, alright, here's your gate. You're going to take off the furthest runway that's about 5 miles away. Which doesn't sound far. I might be exaggerating or off, but it's like, then you just sit there, park, taxi, park. Alright, wait for takeoff, park. Oh, there's traffic. Please wait some more. And then 35 minutes after you left the gate, you finally take off. Alright. Before I close, I just like doing this. Baggage, power supply, jetway. Yeah. Oh, it's cool to see the jetway work. Now, obviously... Oh, we didn't crash into that thing. I thought we did. So it is raining here on the ground. That's good to know. So yeah, so at least we land in the rain. I haven't done that in a while. Does it connect? Does it connect? Let's see. Sometimes I see it stop and it like doesn't connect properly, and like people will be jumping over a gap to get into the airport. Well, it should be lowering the little. This should be lowering, but otherwise it's pretty accurate. So, well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of quick video. You know, if you're seeing this and I did some edits and things went pretty smooth.